Hello, friends, and welcome to After School Adventures with Miss Lynn at Neva Lomason Library. I am spinning tales today. We have had so much fun with Charlotte and Fern and Wilbur and all the beautiful voices that Miss Tara did and all of the fantastically original artwork that Miss Hannah did. But I love spiders so much. No, not really. I do enjoy watching spiders in the sunlight weaving their webs, and I enjoy spiders at night on my boat. They start weaving their webs when we are out for our sunset rides on the lake. And so I'm fascinated by spiders. And I really enjoy this book called Seaver the Weaver. He is an orb spider. And I have some books here about stars and constellations, as well as books about weaving, because this little book about Seaver the Weaver talks about the shapes that different spiders can make, and he is inspired by the constellations in the night sky as he begins to weave his unique creations in his webs. You sit back and listen to the story. At the end, Miss Hannah and I are going to demonstrate how to make your God's eye. So if you were already able to pick up your craft bag for the week, go ahead and have that ready for the end, and we can make one together. This little book, Seaver the Weaver. Let me move my spider legs out of my face. Seaver the Weaver. In the light of the moon, Seaver emerged from his egg. He joined his many brothers and sisters in the wide world. Some began to create their magnificent webs. Others floated away on silken threads as far as the eye could see. Seaver stared into the night sky, studying constellations. He became inspired by the patterns he saw in the stars. Seaver began to weave. He worked by starlight and through the early morning. Satisfied, he sat proudly on his web. "What is that?" his brothers and sisters asked. "How rude is that?" "It is my triangle," Seaver said. "That is not an orb. We are orb weavers. We make round webs, not triangles." "But I like my triangle." "It is unique," Seaver said. "Unique means one of a kind, just like you are, friends. If you want to be an orb weaver, your web needs to look like ours." Well, that's not very nice of his brothers and sisters. But they all look exactly alike, those orb weavers, and an orb is circular. Seaver admired his brothers and sisters' webs. They were round, flawless, no mistakes at all, and empty. What is that web for? That web is for that spider to capture his meal. Seaver's web was sharp, pointed, and shaking from the struggles of a fly that had been captured. I will try harder next time, but first I must tend to my guest. There's his fly. Remember what Charlotte told us? She has to inject them with poison. That little fly needs to be put to sleep. When day turned to night, Seaver looked at the stars in wonder. He forgot all about orbs and circles. Seaver began to weave again. He worked by the starlight and through the early morning. Satisfied, he sat proudly on his web. "What is that?" his brothers and sisters asked. Right here. "It is my square," Seaver said. "That is not an orb. We are orb weavers. We make round webs, not squares. But I like my square. It is unique," Seaver said. "If you want to be an orb weaver, your web needs to look like ours." Judgmental brothers and sisters over there, just looking at him. Seaver admired his brothers and sisters' webs. They were round, perfect, and untouched. Nothing captured in those beautifully perfect orb webs. Seaver's web was long, angular, and vibrating from the struggles of a moth. "I will try harder next time, but first I must tend to my guest." When the stars speckled the sky, Seaver stared into the deep, dark night. He knew he should weave a circle, but the patterns he saw twinkling above spoke to him. Seaver began to weave. He worked by starlight and through the early morning. Satisfied, he sat proudly on his web. "What is that?" Seaver's brothers and sisters asked. Right here. "It is my hexagon," Seaver said. "That is not an orb. We are orb weavers. We make round webs, not hexagons. But I like my hexagon. It is unique. If you want to be an orb weaver, your web needs to look like ours." Poor Seaver the weaver. Seaver admired his brothers and sisters' webs. They were round, pristine, that means perfect, and vacant. That means empty. What good is that spider's web if it's empty? Seaver's web was edgy, rigid, and trembling from a grasshopper. "Perhaps you are right. I will try harder next time, but first I must tend to my guest." That grasshopper looks bigger than the spider. Wow. Under the starry night, Seaver sat confused. He knew he should make an orb if he wanted to be an orb weaver, but again, the lights in the night sky inspired him. Seaver began to weave. He worked by starlight and through early morning. Satisfied, he sat proudly on his web. "What is that?" Seaver's brothers and sisters asked. "It is my web." Seaver's web was covered in mosquitoes. This time, he held his head high and proud. "I like my web. It is unique." "We agree," his brothers and sisters said. "We were hoping you could teach us how to weave such marvelous shapes. We are very, very hungry." And Seaver did. Look at all the shapes they have. Rectangular, triangular, hexagonal, square, another triangular. And Seaver helped his brothers and sisters weave webs that really were able to capture their prey, their insects, what they needed to be able to eat. And so, if you like that story of Seaver the Weaver, you might like Weaving Wonders, the Spiders in Your Backyard. You might like the cute little book, Frank the Seven-Legged Spider. And if you think that you might like to use some yarn to make things that are different than what we're doing today, like a God's Eye, we have a book like this here, The Loom Magic. We have books about the stars and constellations. And friends, I hope you are signed up for Beanstack so that you are earning prizes for the books that you read. I hope that you enjoyed having a different kind of story time with Miss Tara, but let us know if you enjoy those longer books so that we can get some of those things pre-recorded for you. For the next few weeks in November and December, we'll be doing shorter stories again with pictures and crafts that go along with them as we head through the holiday season. And so we have kind of switching it up a little bit with our virtual reality and book time and story time. But let us know what it is that you like. I also heard from an elf that we are going to be having a wonderful holiday movie drive-in theater here at the library on Friday, December 11th. So I hope you can join us for a movie with your family for the holidays with snacks like popcorn and that kind of fun stuff. We're going to move over to our crafting table. And as I said, you should have your craft bag. In your craft bag, you will have a little packet that looks like this. You will also have directions to get you started with that, how to make a God's eye. You will need scissors. You will need, use that one. And inside of your bag, you're going to have a variety of colors of yarn. You will need scissors to make it the length that you want it to be. We took the first step for you and went ahead and glued your popsicle sticks, your cross sticks, into the X shape that you need to get started, or the plus sign, because it helps it to stay together better. And I don't know what your favorite color is. I'm starting with my favorite color, blue, and I did go ahead and start with mine, and Ms. Hannah can show you if you want to make yours with your colors of yarn a little bit shorter, where you change colors. You would cut your yarn a little bit shorter, and then all I did was tie together, and then we start to wrap. And I'm going to take my blue and put it across the X, and then I'm using my finger to hold it there until I come around a few times to make sure that it's there. And you're just wrapping back and forth, making an X. These are
I'm going to get us a close-up.
Yeah.
Show what you're doing.
Okay. So I started like this to make it into an X, and then you can wrap around this way and this way. It really is a very simple weave, like a spider might do. So I'm making X's occasionally, and then I'll come to the back and wrap around the bottom, make another X. And what the directions say, when you get your God's eye, which would be the center of the X, when you get it to the side, there we go. When you get it to the size that you think you want it to be, you can stop and change colors. So I'm making mine go a little bit longer. Oh, here's my knot. So now I have my green color coming that's attached to the yarn. So I'm coming around to the back, and then I'm going to continue weaving. Next week we'll be doing a paper weave with Ms. Bird, and she's going to show you how to weave paper to make your own placemat, as well as you will have a turkey cutout where you can weave your turkey feathers into different colors. So with yarn, I love it. It's very forgiving, and I need that. You can pretty much go with whichever patterns you want. So at this point, I'm going over, then under, then over, then under, over, then under. And now I'm going to stop for a second. So I'm changing it a little bit. I'm going to go under, and then I'm going to go to the back and make my X. And look what happens. I have my green yarn coming right across my God's eye. X marks the spot. What do you think of that part? So I did 2 loops there, and then I'm going to continue with my green. Over under and over. And you can even go around. So right here, I'm going around. I decided I want a little more green on this leg. And then come down here, do a little more green on this leg. You're going to have a variety of colors. So if you decide you don't like the colors that you have, you can leave one behind, use it for something different. I know Miss Hannah likes to do some braiding. You could use the yarn for that. You could think of, oh, you know what you could do? If you have like an old yucky pencil that your brother got a hold of and put teeth marks in it or something like that, you could cover a pencil with yarn. Just glue the end of it and then wrap it. And then you have glue it at the other end. And you will be able to cover up your pencil. Make it something pretty that you like. I'm not so great with this. My hands are getting tired. Let's see. Where am I going? I'm going to around. There's scissors over there. Over there by the yarn, there's some scissors. Oh, I don't need them right now, but I didn't know if you did. I got back in my blue yarn. This is a little more difficult than I thought it would be. It's been a long time since I've made one of these. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the pattern. And right now I got my blue back in there with my green. And I'm getting ready to switch to purple. So here comes my purple.
Do you want to hold it up so we can see the front?
That's what it's looking like so far.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end of it, you can use some of your glue and glue it on there. You can also, when you get all the way to the end, you can make yourself a little loop and maybe hang it on your Christmas tree if you do that. You could put it in your room, hang it up wherever in your room, wherever you like to put your creative things that you do. Or you could give it away to someone and brighten their day. And just remember this little eye right here, that's me. I'm watching you. I miss you. I hope you come and see us soon. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you soon, friends. Have a good day. Bye-bye.